Hey everyone, today I want to offer something to you and I hope that it's valuable and resourceful. I've been blogging for the last couple years and I found it to be an incredible benefit to my business, to how much money I make, but not only that, to building relationships with colleagues and building relationships with potential clients and building relationships with people in my industry. It has been a fantastic tool. And I'm convinced that blogging is an incredible platform, not only to make money, but to build relationship. It's not just about Dear Diary, oh my gosh, I had this crazy day, how blogs evolved maybe 10 years ago or so. It's really morphed into something where you see Fortune 500 companies and so many businesses across the board beginning to utilize this thing called a blog. So today what I want to share are three things. One, why a blog is important for business. Two, how to write a blog post. And three, some basic reminders, blog etiquette, and really how to pull this off successfully. So, number one, why is a blog important? Well, first of all, blog is short for weblog. It's basically an online journal or an online catalog of different topics that you can share with the world. Why would you want to do this? Well, a blog, it's an opportunity to connect with potential customers and get them to the door even before you meet. Okay, people these days go online and they jump on Google and they're trying to find out relevant information, finding credible and trustworthy people to do business with. Well, if you have a blog, you will be found. And if someone resonates with the way your site looks, or the way you talk, the way you treat people, and how much information you know, can be a fantastic way to introduce them to yourself before you even meet in person. A blog can actually help build credibility and expertise for a business. It seems counterintuitive, but people actually tend to trust others online. You see a website that looks really, really good, and then you begin to pour through some of the content. Now, that person could be brand new in the industry, but if that person sounds like they're credible, there's an automatic response where you say, wow, I trust this opinion. And that is what it is, but that's the way that it tends to work online. And one of the greatest features of running a blog, one of the greatest impacts is that Google will like you better. Okay, you want to get your Google rankings up because when people type in information to find a business, you want them to find you as close as possible to the top. And social media, lastly, it's not a fad. Social media is here to stay. The platforms might change. Maybe someday people will walk away from Facebook or walk away from Twitter, no longer use certain platforms, but they're going to use other ones, newer ones, and so they're going to use them. So I'd say get found. How to write a blog post? Well, first of all, blogging is time consuming. It takes work. When anyone says that you can just put out a post and it's going to go viral and you're going to get all this business, I'd say that's probably not true because it takes work. And just like with any marketing plan and any way you present yourself, it just takes relationship and it takes hard work. And that's how it goes. One of the most important things with the blog, ask yourself the question, what does my target audience want to know about? And is this content, is it relevant for my target audience? And who are you really writing for? Because the target audience will really guide everything. It'll guide the way you present information, because maybe your demographic is expecting, hard data and statistics, or maybe they're wanting video, or maybe they're wanting audio posts. Because that'll really influence the way you talk with others. Most so important in any organization, you've got to know who you are if you're going to be effective. How to write a blog post? Be resourceful. Share solid information. Blogging is all about giving really good content. Okay, you don't have to write a novel. I'd say, in fact, be as brief as you can be. A few paragraphs will suffice. But most importantly, be yourself. Be original. Don't plagiarize. Don't be negative. And some practical tips. Use a picture in each post if you can. Make sure the picture is smaller in size. You definitely want it to fit within the margins of the blog post. Just give it a little color. Design's important, but look, content definitely trumps design. if your site looks like it was created, by a seventh grader in 2001, when we didn't have so many tools at our disposal, then you're definitely going to want to upgrade the look of your site. But otherwise, I'd say make sure the design is decent, but focus on having really, really good content. Okay. Now we hear a lot about keywords in blogging. People say, I'm an SEO giant, or I'm a blogging ninja, or some sort of blogging Sherpa, or whatever terms that people use. I see guru used quite a bit. Um, I'll never call myself any of those things. But I'll say use keywords though in your title and in your post. And what do I mean by that? Well, a keyword is something. Imagine someone out there, a potential client, was typing in Google, okay, and they're looking for something. They're looking for your topic. They're looking for your type of business, your brand. Well, the words that they type in, try to use those words in your blog post. Okay, for example, I'm in the real estate industry, and if I'm writing a post about market trends in a particular neighborhood in Sacramento, then in the title of the post, I'm going to have probably that neighborhood name. I probably might reference Sacramento, and in the post itself, I'm probably going to say Appraiser, Appraisal, Sacramento. I'll mention the neighborhood name. Now, it needs to be in a way that's not clunky, in a way that's not obvious. You don't want to sound like you're Spock and like you were born in some sort of funky organization, odd sort of non-human fashion. You definitely want to be as personable as possible. So I'd say don't overthink this, because when you provide good content, Google will find you and other people will too. But just to keep that in mind, try to use those keywords in your posts. And on that note, your posts ought to really help answer people's questions. Again, what are people searching for? Write relevant material. Who is your target audience? I'd say share funny stories that show how personable you are. Share things you see along the way in the business day, things that people can relate to. If people feel like they can relate to you, over time they may want to do business with you, because as they see, hey, you know what you're talking about, and wow, this person's human, they're sharing some funny experiences. Great. One of the interesting things is that on my blog, I find that sometimes the posts that I think will just be so amazing because they're so full of detail and trend analysis and graphs and data. Sometimes those posts don't hit home with people. They're interesting, but sometimes it's really sharing the random photos and the crazy things I see in real estate that really resonate with people. And again, so I'm providing good content, but along the way I'm just saying, hey, check out this video of this property I saw the other day. And people are blown away about that kind of stuff, and it's cool because it helps build relationship, create a conversation, get some comments, and just really maybe pursue business together in the future, maybe even in the present. Um, in your blog post, use proper tags. On a blog post, in most blogging platforms, there's an opportunity, there's a little thing called tags, and you want to basically describe your post. For example, if I wrote about, the other day I wrote about a major hoarder property in West Sacramento. This property was full of junk. It was really, really bad. And so all my tags said, hoarder property, West Sacramento, Sacramento appraiser, property full of junk, video of really gross hoarder property, or all those things that I said. And believe it or not, those things, Google is looking for some of those things, and they tend to show up in search rankings. If I did a Google search right now, I can find my site, that post, based on those tags. I've seen it work just for that. Use links in your post. Link to other pages. If you, for example, at the bottom of your post, if you said, if you have any additional questions, contact me. We'll highlight contact me and make sure that that post then, or those two words, contact me, links to the contact portion on your website. If you say, hey, check out my Facebook page, then Facebook page, make sure that those two words are linked to your Facebook page. Pretty simple stuff. I'd say really let people get to know you. One of the hindrances to blogging, people think, I don't want to share that information online. I don't need to live out my life online, and I just don't want to put out all this about me online. Well, the authors of the book Trust Agents make a really, really good point. They say your information's already there. Okay, go to a site called Zava Search, Z-A-V-A search.com. I use this site every time I want to figure out what where I lived in the past 3 years. If I, for some reason, am filling out an application and asks me to list all my previous residences, well, I go to this site because it has apartments I lived in a different part of the state over a decade ago. Okay, it's scary that that information's there, but it just really illustrates the point that your information is already out there, so you might as well control how you're presented online, okay? And people are searching for you, believe it or not. They're going to, once they come into contact with you, how you portray yourself online, it's like a resume. And like people say, your next tweet or your next Facebook post is your resume. That's how it works these days. So control your content and let people really get to know you, okay? And I'd say the last couple things, provide an opportunity for connections underneath the post. I would highly recommend install something called a Facebook like button. That way someone can, if they like your post, boom, they can click like, and then that'll actually show up on their Facebook wall. Then maybe someone else will see that and they'll get interested in your content too. So just kind of a neat way to share. Make sure you have a share button also. When someone clicks that, they can share your post on Twitter, they can share it on Facebook, they can email it, they can share it on all the different social networking sites out there. And the last thing, I picked this up from ProBlogger. Ask a question at the end of the post. Okay, so you have good content, you have a picture in there somewhere, then at the end of the post, ask a question. Hey, so what do you think about this? Or I just wrote about the economy and the recession. It just came out 2 days ago. People are saying that the recession's over. Well, so I wrote this post, and at the end of the post, I say, well, if unemployment's so high right now, what do you make of this? Is the recession really over? And so that way it provides an opportunity for connection. It provides a forum to kind of extend the post then into the comments section. Maybe someone will ask a question or they'll give a response in your comments, and then it creates an opportunity for dialogue. Lastly, some quick blog reminders. Number one, do what works for you. There's so many different voices or ninjas or gurus or SEO giants and Sherpas telling you how to do it. Okay? But here's the deal. Everyone does blogging differently. Everyone does social media differently. Find your rhythm and do what's going to work for you. Okay? Secondly, blogging can be very, very time consuming. So watch out, be careful, don't get addicted, and make sure you manage your time. You might want to think about how many posts you want to put up each week. Maybe one, maybe two to start with. But if you're blogging every single day, it's gonna get really time consuming for you. Okay, and so on that note too, make sure that you're blogging consistently. All right, if there's one post every 3 months, then I just ask, well, do you really want to have a blog? Okay, are you really committed to building your online presence? Do you really want to provide content to your potential clients if you blog, once a year? So, and then one helpful thing, it might be worthwhile to write down a few potential post ideas so you can be thinking about content. One thing that I do, I write down a bunch of post ideas in a Microsoft Word document, and I keep that stuff on file because in that way I can go to that anytime I want. I can add ideas, and it just helps me to kind of keep things in check. And the last thing to remember is that you can even schedule posts. Say you sit down and then you write a couple posts. Well, if I want something to post maybe in a few days, I can schedule that through WordPress.com. That's my chosen blogging platform. But anyway, I hope this is helpful, and if you have any tips, definitely share these in comments below. And I'd love to get a link to your blog. Would love to check out what you're doing, and hope this was a resource. Okay, hey, you take care. Thanks so much.